The Giants are on the road this week. Their current spot in the 2020 draft, second. They get the Redskins, who would be picking just 2 spots behind them in the 4 slot. Predictions will roll your way in a moment, but first let's cover some numbers. It took a while, but SAQUON Barkley finally showed up big for the G-Men.
Start for Eli Manning, first home start in about 3 months. Barkley bounces to the outside, and he's in again!
Barkley had his first 100-yard rushing game since week 2. A dry spell aided by both injuries that kept him out of a few games and poor offensive line play. But he could put up his 4th C-note game of the year, being he'll be taking on a Redskins defense that did not look good against the run last week. Miles Sanders collected 122 yards on the ground on 6.4 yards per carry. Washington is 28th in rushing yards per game allowed this season, and they've surrendered almost 4.5 yards per run. Now, just as the Giants finally got what they wanted from their star running back, the Redskins finally got what they've been hoping for from DWAYNE Haskins.
And of course, he's completely dialed in, and here is McCoy. He's off to the races, inside the 20, and a touchdown!
Haskins finally threw for 250-plus yards, finally had a passer rating over 100, and did it without throwing any picks. He still had his fair share of misses, but Washington fans finally had a reason for optimism. And the thing is, he could put up back-to-back good games if New York's defense plays like it has most of the season. They don't have much of a pass rush. They rank 22nd in sacks. They are near the bottom in passer rating allowed, giving up a rating over 100. And they've been highly susceptible to pass plays of 20-plus yards, ranking 28th on that front. So Haskins might be able to build on his breakout game. The X factor in this game, though, will be the Giants' quarterback and their ability to avoid turning the ball over.
There's another big play here. That pass is picked! Telegraphed by Manning.
Eli Manning threw 3 interceptions last week, the Giants as a team being one of the most turnover-prone in the NFL. And Daniel Jones doesn't really make a difference here, as he was one of the most fumble-prone QBs in the league before he got hurt. And while most of the Redskins' defensive numbers don't jump off the page, they have come up with their fair share of takeaways. The Redskins forced 4 fumbles last week, recovering one of them off a sack, which is another facet of the game they hold an advantage in. They are tied for the 7th most sacks this season. The Giants' pass protection, meantime, has given up the 13th most. That's plenty of numbers to digest, but before you leave, we have one more set for you to gobble up. It's time for some shiny, hot-off-the-presses predictions.
Inside the 10-yard line. Peterson dancing around, goes back the other way, runs by Fletcher Cox, he'll get to the end zone, and a touchdown